Hi, I'm Nichole McBride, and I'm an occupational therapist through North Colony. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about ways to motivate movement in small spaces. Certainly in the last year with COVID precautions, we've all been moving less, and we have really seen an impact on all of our kids as well as our adults. So we know how important it is to move, but where do we do it and how do we do it, especially if we're at home? The Center for Disease Control recommends that children get 60 minutes of physical activity every day. Certainly if the weather's bad or you have a really small space, it's hard to fit that in, I get that. Of that 60 minutes, they're recommending that it includes exercises that are aerobic, which are exercises that increase your heart rate. That 60 minutes should include muscle strengthening exercises, where your muscles are being required to push and pull, and bone strengthening exercises, exercises that are impacting to require the bones to rebuild and be strong. So we certainly know that our kids need to get out and move more, and if it's rainy, what are we going to do? So today I'm going to be going over a few strategies on how to increase movement in your small space. First, all you really need is a space on the floor. Maybe you put a mat out so that your child knows that that's a space that they can move safely and have fun and really work on specific exercises that we're going to talk about today. The first activity I'm going to talk to you about is yoga. Not only do kids love yoga, but they're naturals. And what's great about yoga is that you too need yoga. So it's a wonderful family activity that everybody can do. Nowadays, they've got some really cute materials out for kids. They make these yoga cards that have the directions on the back of them. So you certainly don't need to be an expert on yoga or have ever done yoga before. They have these really cute dice. Kids love these, where they can roll the dice and come up with a yoga sequence all on their own. And what's great about the yoga cards and the yoga dice and some of the yoga games that they have is that it gives the students the visuals to have to learn how to motor plan and figure out their body awareness and what to do with their body in space. So it's a wonderful way to not only create movement and weight bearing through the muscles, but also work on that coordination and motor planning piece. The next set of small space activities you can think about are using some of the exercise equipment that they have out there for small spaces. So these are resistant bands, and what's great about resistant bands is that they can provide you with a full whole body workout. The resistant bands come in 5 different colors of all different resistances. They have these cute little handles on them and a little attachment that helps with your doorway. So you can put it in your doorway, close your doorway, and have something that you can use to stretch against. What's great about the resistant bands is they too come up with really cute little cards with instructions. Again, something you don't have to necessarily know about, but give the kids a visual to copy. And it shows the kids how to do the different exercises, what muscles they're targeting, and gives them a breakdown of how to use the bands. The bands can be used around doorways, the bands can be used around tables, or the bands can just be used with your arms and legs. Another exercise modality or type are these bands for your legs, okay? And these bands go around your legs, providing resistance in your legs. So it's as if your legs were lifting weights, but instead they're using these bands. You can see these are small, they're easy to tuck away, and they're great fun to have around, as long as you're not using them like slingshots. Pick this up at 5 Below. This is an exercise cube. It has all different types of aerobic different exercises on there. Your child can roll the dice, and right there, it gives them 15 push-ups. You don't have to think about it. They don't have to think about it. The dice decides for them. Something we can think about that is really, we don't do a lot anymore, at least kids don't do a lot anymore, are jump ropes. Jump ropes are a wonderful bone strengthening and aerobic exercise. They're also great for students' coordination, and they're rhythmic. And a lot of times students and kids do really well with rhythmic activities. So having a jump rope around can be great. A way to modify jump roping for those students that are really struggling with that is to tie the rope on two ends so that it's taut, and have your child jump over and practice just jumping and clearing the rope so that they can work on that timing. Another great thing to think about is the use of exercise balls or weighted balls. These can be found pretty much in most of the major stores, Walmart, Target, and these are weighted balls that have different weights to them, and they create a lot of great fun. So they can be used for bowling, you can just be using them for hanging out and playing simple ball activities like rolling and tossing. The next set of exercises or things to think about in terms of incorporating more movement into your small space is thinking about flexible seating. So embedding in our daily environment different ways to increase movement into things that you do daily. So for instance, if your child is sitting in front of the TV, or say they're doing homework, have them sit on a therapy ball, because that requires more effort and that's exercise. Another thing to think about with the therapy ball is it can be a great thing to just hang over, read a book, work on being on your belly so that you're working on the extension of the body, which is something all of us could use. Something else to think about is, say your student is reading or doing homework or having to work on something, is tape their work up onto the wall and have them work on a vertical surface. By just increasing the workload there, the student's getting some exercise in their arms, getting more work in their shoulder girdle, which can be a great way to reinforce fine motor skills. Another really fun piece of equipment for small spaces are different types of balance boards. So you can see these little balance boards are all different. Your child can just stand on these balance boards while they're watching TV, playing those games, or even just wanting to be silly and have some wiggle fun. The balance boards are not only good for our kids, but they can also be really great ways to strengthen ankles for those people that have prone to ankle sprains, and can be a wonderful way to create a little bit more wiggle and movement during static activities. So in closing, in terms of thinking about ways to incorporate more movement, something to think about is leaving all of this stuff out and around. Create a space in your home where you can just lay out a mat. So that's a space that you can signify as a place to be active and to move. Just like we have heard that saying before, if you build it, they will come. If it's out, they will move. And then another thing to think about is doing some of these activities together. Kids learn by modeling, and certainly parents are busy and they want to get home and get dinner started, but you too could use 10 to 15 minutes every day to just get on the mat with your kid, move, get them going, and start creating healthy habits. So in short, you know, you don't need a lot of space, and there's a lot of different activities that you can incorporate into your small space that can meet that 60 minutes of physical activity every day. Included in my slide will be activities and resources to support your small space. And so motivate that movement in your home and get yourselves moving.